Pro Beach Soccer, otherwise known as Extreme Beach Soccer in other regions, was released for the PlayStation 2, Microsoft Xbox and the PC in 2003, and this is a very different type of soccer game compared to your more mainstream entries with the likes of the FIFA and ISS Pro or Pro Evo series, as the game focuses on more 3-on-3 or 5-a-side football but playing on beaches, like beach tournaments. The game has a multitude of different modes, from friendly exhibition matches to quick matches, arcade modes, multiplayer modes, and even various competitions and tournaments that you can use to play as to unlock additional features, players and even more resources to increase player stats and attributes, and even to unlock more abilities as you play. The game itself got fairly decent reviews across the board regarding magazines, stating that they liked the unusual style and the nature of the game, as it took many of the great elements seen in the likes of the mainstream soccer series, but even with the likes of FIFA Street, there was also another highly popular game that utilised and focused more on tricks and abilities rather than out and out style of football play that you would see in more of your mainstream titles. So it focused on more fun aspects of soccer, and it implemented a lot of those attributes seen in the likes of FIFA Street to good effect, but instead you're playing on the beach, hence the reason why it got really good reviews, because it's a very good multiplayer style of game, although it can be tricky to get used to if you're not familiar with these type of aesthetics within games, as even though it did get good ratings, the game can be quite tricky to pick up and play for an absolute beginner. It takes a while to get used to various techniques, abilities and just the multitude of control dynamics that's available, and even on the easiest difficulty, the computer AI can be very aggressive, so it can be very difficult to win games, because there's a very good chance that 9 times out of 10 you will get destroyed in games, as they will have no problem scoring against you, but you will have a hard time scoring against them. I found that from my own experience. So even with the reviews, while they are good and it is valid, even by today's standards, the game isn't as easily accessible for an absolute beginner. Beginners will struggle with this game, no ifs or buts about it, as there is a very different play style and dynamic. If you ever have played the FIFA Street series, you'll understand what I mean. Like, they're fantastic games in their own right, but they do require a lot more emphasis on how you dribble the ball and how you interact with various button combinations in order to do a lot of different tricks and so forth, and can take a lot of time, trial and error, in order to figure out many of those elements. And the same can be said with this game. But even the pace of this game, all the while good, at times in my own opinion can feel somewhat a little bit clunky, which is the reason why it can be so difficult, because when you've finally figured out what to do, no sooner have you gotten control of the ball, there's a very good chance the ball will be taken off you. So it can be quite tricky. Unless you can adapt to the control methods, you will have a hard time with this game. But it doesn't take away from the various aesthetics the game has to offer, as the game is endorsed by a lot of popular ex-football players at the time, such as Eric Cantona, they used to play for Manchester United, and many other players. And the game also takes place in various different regions and different international locations, which definitely suits the play style, and it has kind of like an ongoing presence where it feels more like a beach party, where you have DJs playing in the background where there's music, and every time you score a goal there's always a different type of mood or a different type of music that plays. Plus you'd have loads of different fans that are celebrating various things that are going on. So the game itself is very lifelike, especially not just what goes on the pitch, but even in and around it and what goes on outside of it. So it definitely has a lot to offer. But aside from the little issues and niggles that some people will have, it is a good solid game all round. And if you have played the likes of FIFA Street, or even another game on the PlayStation known as Urban Freestyle Soccer, you will feel right at home here, as it has very similar ideas and gameplay mechanics, especially with the use of tricks and attributes that you can use, especially if you're a more skilled player. This will definitely suit your wants and needs. And I would love to know your thoughts on Pro Beach Soccer for the PS2 if you have played it yourself back in the day, and if so, what do you think of it? Do you enjoy these more free-flowing type of soccer games where you can focus more on tricks and abilities rather than normal soccer games? I'd love to hear whatever stories you do have of these type of football games, so be sure to share them down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated of future videos. And if you would like to see more content around other types of soccer games also seen on the PS2, you can check out the playlist here on screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.